types in Apache Ant. You can see the file set type. A file set is a group of files. These files can be found in a directory tree starting in a base directory and are maintained by patterns taken from number of pattern sets and selectors. Here you can see a dir attribute, the root of the directory tree of this file set, and case sensitive must include and exclude patterns be treated in a case sensitive way. Pattern sets can be specified as nested pattern set elements. In addition, file set holds an implicit pattern sets and supports nested include file, exclude and exclude file elements of pattern set directly, as well as pattern set attributes. As example 2, we are now considering class file set, type class file set. A class file set is a specialized type of file set which given set of root classes will include all of the classes class files upon which the root class depends. This is typically used to create a jar with all of the required classes for a particular application. With regarding API, you can consider class file set. A class file set is a file set that enlists all classes that depend on a certain set of root classes. Class file set extend file set its inherited properties, defining the domain searched for dependent classes. This is in the package org.apache.tools.and.types.optional.depend. This example create a file set containing all the class files upon which org.apache.tools.and.project class depends. This file set could then be used to create a jar. Now we are considering description. Type description allows for a description of the project to be specified that will be included in the output of the ant dash project help command. With regarding API, class description is used to provide the project-wide description element, that is a description that applies to a build file as a whole. If present, description element is printed out before the target descriptions. Description has no attributes, only text. There can only be one project description per project. A second description element will overwrite the first. This is in the package org.apache.tools.and.types. Now we are considering directory-based tasks. Some tasks use directory trees for the actions they perform. For example, JavaC task, which compiles a directory tree with .java files into .class files, is one of the directory-based tasks. Because some of the tasks do so much work with the directory tree, the task itself can act as an implicit file set. Here this copies all the files in directories called images that are located in the directory tree defined by $, open curly brace, $, open curly brace, src, close curly brace, to the destination directory defined by $, open curly brace, dist, close curly brace, but excludes all *.gif files from the copy. Here deleting the original set of files, the delete task can act as an implicit file set. Now we are considering dir set. The type dir set. A dir set is a group of directories. These directories can be found in a directory tree starting in the base directory and are matched by patterns taken from a number of pattern sets and selectors. With regarding API, we can consider class dir set subclass as a hint for supporting tasks that the included directories instead of files should be used. This in the package org.apache.tools.ant.types. Here the group of directories name classes found under the app subdirectory of $ open curly brace build.dir close curly brace, except those that have the text in their name. Now we are considering extension, type extension, utility type that represent either an available optional package formerly known as standard extension, as described in the manifest of a jar file, or the requirement for such an optional package. Here you can see the fully specified extension object. With regard to API, we can consider class extension, utility class that represent either an available optional package formerly known as standard extension as described in the manifest of a jar file, or requirement for such an optional package. This is in the package org.apache.tools.and.taskdefs.optional.extension. Now we are considering extension set, type extension set, utility type that represent a set of extensions. With regarding API, we can consider class extension set. The extension set lists a set of optional packages or extensions. This is in the package org.apache.tools.and.taskdef.optional.extension. Now we are considering file set, type file set. File sets are explicitly named list of files, whereas file sets act as filters, returning only those files that exist in the file system and that match specified patterns. File lists are useful for specifying files that may or may not exist. Multiple files are specified as a list of files relative to the specified directory. with no support for wildcard expansion, file names with wildcards will be included in the list unchanged. File lists can appear inside tasks that support this feature or as standalone types. With regarding API, we can consider class file list. File list represent an explicitly named list of files. File lists are useful when you want to capture a list of files regardless of whether they currently exist. By contrast, file set operates as a filter, only returning the name of the matched file if it currently exists in the file system. This is in the package org.apache.tools.and.types. Here the files $ open curly brace doc.src close curly brace / foo.xml and $ open curly brace doc.src close curly brace / bar.xml. Note that these files may not yet actually exist. This is same as the example here. This is same as the example here and here. This is same as same files as example here and here. Now we are considering file set. Type file set. A file set is a group of files. These files can be found in a directory tree starting in a base directory and are matched by patterns taken from a number of pattern set and selectors. With regarding API, we can consider class file set moved out of matching task to make it a standalone object that could be referenced by script, for example. This is in the package org.apache.tools.and.types. Here the groups all files in directory $ open curly brace server.src close curly brace that are Java source files and don't have text, don't have the text test in their name. Now we are considering mapping file names. The type filter mapper. This mapper implementation applies a filter change to the source file name. With regarding API, we can consider class filter mapper. This is a file name mapper based on a filter chain. This is in the package org.apache.tools.and.types.mappers. Here you can see the change. Now we are considering filter chains and filter readers. Such custom filter readers can be easily plugged in as nested elements of filter chain by using filter reader elements. with regarding class, with regarding API, we can consider class filter chain. Filter chain may contain a chain set of filter readers. This in the package org.apache.tools.and.types. A filter chain is a group of ordered filter readers. Users can define their own filters by just extending java.io.filterReader class. Such custom filter readers can be easily plugged in as nested elements of filter chain by using filter reader elements. And provide some built-in filter readers. Here these filter readers can also be declared by using a syntax similar to the here. However, they can be declared using some simpler syntax also, and this is equivalent to this. Now we are considering filter set. Here you are copying the version .txt file to the this directory. From the build directory, but wish to replace the token date with today's date. The type filter set. Filter sets are groups of filters. Filters can be defined as token value pairs or be read from a file. Filter sets can appear inside tasks that support this feature, or at the same level as target, that is as children of project. With regarding API, we can consider class filter set, a set of filters to be applied to something. A filter set may have begin token and end tokens defined. This is the package org.apache.tools.and.types. Now we are considering a multi-root file set. Type multi-root file set. A multi-root file set is a group of files or directories. These files or directories can be found in the directory for us, starting with the set of base directories that are matched by patterns taken from a number of pattern sets and selectors. With regarding API, we can consider class multi-root file set, union of file dir sets that share the same patterns and selectors but have different roots. This is in the package org.apache.tools.and.types.resources. Here groups all files inside classes found under the apps directory of $ open curly brace build.dir close curly brace or $ open curly brace other.project.dir close curly brace, except those that have the text test in their name. This is equivalent to this example, but use nested base dir elements. The nested elements and the base dir attributes can be used at the same time and will be merged. Now we are considering pattern set, type pattern set. Patterns can be grouped into sets and later be referenced by their ID attributes. They are defined via a pattern set element which can appear nested into a file set or a directory based task that constitutes an explicit file set. In addition, pattern set can be defined as a standalone element at the same level as target, that is, as children of project as well as children of target. With regarding API, we can consider class pattern set named collection of include exclude tags. This is in the package org.apache.tools.and.types. Here builds a set of patterns that matches all .java files that do not contain the text test in their name. This set can be referred to via pattern set ref id equal none.test.sources by task that supports this feature or by file sets. Note that the while includes and exclude attributes accept multiple elements separated by commas or spaces. The nested include and exclude element expect their name attributes to hold a single pattern. Now we are considering path-like structures. This take a general form of, for example, a class path here. This object represent a path as used by class path or path environment variable. A path might also be described as a collection of unique file system resources. The location attributes specified regarding API, we can consider class path. This object represents a path as used by class path or path environment variable. A path might also be described as a collection of unique file system resources. This is in the package org.apache.tools.and.types. Now with regarding class path here, this takes a general form of like this, and the location attribute specifies a single file or directory relative to the project's base directory or an absolute file name, while the path attributes accepts colon or semicolon separated list of locations. The path attribute is intended to be used with predefined paths. In any other case, multiple elements with location attributes should be preferred. Here, path-like structure can include a reference to another path-like structure, a path being itself a resource collection via nested path elements. Now we are considering permissions, type permissions. Permissions represent a set of security permissions granted or revoked to a specific part code excluded in the JVM where Apache Ant is running in. Actual permissions are specified via a set of nested permission items, either granted or revoked. With regarding API, we can consider class permissions. This class implements a security manager meant for usage by tasks that run inside the Ant VM. And examples are the Java tasks that examples are the Java task and JUnit task. The basic functionality is that nothing except for a base set of permissions is allowed unless the permission is granted either explicitly or implicitly. If a permission is granted, this can be overruled by explicitly revoking the permission. It is not possible to add permissions either granted or revoked while the security manager is active after calling set security manager, but before calling restore security manager. This is in the package org.apache.tools.and.types. Here grant all permissions to the code except for those handling properties. Now we are considering property set. For example, here type property set groups a set of properties to be used by reference in a task that support this. With regarding API, we can consider class property set, a set of properties, and that is in org.apache.tools.and.types. A property set can be used as a set union of more property sets. For example, here collects all properties whose name starts with either foo or ba in the set name myset. Here the maximum at maximum one mapper can be specified. The mapper is used to change the names of the property keys. For example, here collects all properties whose name starts with foo, but changes the name to start with ba. If supplied, the nested mapper will be applied subsequent to any negation of matched properties. Now we are considering I/O redirection. The redirector type provides concrete means of redirecting input and output, featuring the use of file mappers to specify source input and destination output error files. With regarding API, we can consider class redirect element representation of a redirector. This is in the package org.apache.tools.ant.types. Now we are considering reg exp type regs exp. Regs exp represent a regular expression. Here defines a regular expression for later use with id myreg exp. Now we are considering a resource, a type resource, a basic resource, other resource types derived from this basic type. As such, all its attributes are available through, though in most cases irrelevant attributes will be ignored. This and all resource implementations are also also usable as single element resource collectors. With regarding API, we can consider class resource, describes a file like resource, file, zip entry, etc. This is in the package org.apache.tools.ant.types. Now we are considering resource collections, type resources, a generic resource collection designed for use with references. For example, if a third-party Ant task generates a resource collection of an unknown type, it can still be accessed via a resources collection. The secondary use of this collection type is as a container of other resource collections, preserving the order of nested collections as well as duplicate resources, contrast with the union. With regarding API, we can consider class resources, generic resource collection, either the class resources, generic resource collection either stores nested resource collections, making no attempt to remove duplicates or references another resource collection. This is in the package org.apache.tools.ant.types.resources. Now we are considering selectors. Contain selector. Here is an example of how to use the contain selector. The tag contains the contains tag in a file set limits the files defined by that file set to only those which contains the string specified by the text attribute. With regarding API, we can consider class contains is one string part of another string. This is in the package org.apache.tools.ant.taskdefs.condition. Here select all HTML files that contain the string script. In the API, the content is under task defs. Now we are considering tar file set. Type tar file set. Tar file set has been a standalone type since Apache 1.7. With regarding API, we can consider class tar file set. A tar file set is a file set with extra attributes useful in the context of tar or jar tasks. A tar file set extends file sets with the ability to extract a subset of the entries of a tar file for inclusion in another tar file. It also includes the prefix attributes which is prepended to each entry in the output tar file. This is in the package org.apache.tools.ant.types. Here in this example, you can see downloads the sum-archive.tar.bz2, uncompresses and extract it on the fly, copies the contents of lib directory into some dash dir and discard the rest of the archive. File timestamps will be compared between archives entries and files inside the target directory. No files get overwritten unless they are out of date. Now we are considering XML catalog. Here set up an XML catalog with a single DTD referenced locally in a user's home directory. The type XML catalog. An XML catalog is a catalog of public resources such as DTDs or entities that are referenced in XML document. Catalogs are typically used to make web references to resources point to locally cached copy of the resource. With regarding API, we can consider XML catalog. This data type provides a catalog of resource locations such as DTDs and XML entities based on the OSIS Open Catalog standard. The catalog entries are used both for entity resolution and URI resolution in accordance with the entity resolver and URI resolver interfaces as defined in the Java API for XML processing specification. This is in the package org.apache.tools.and.types. Now we are considering zip file set. Type zip file set. A zip file set is a special form of file set which can behave in two different ways. When the src attribute is used or a nested resource collection has been specified. Since Apache Ant 1.7, the zip file set is populated with zip entries found in the file src. When the dir attribute is used, the zip file set is populated with the file system files found under dir. With regarding API, we can consider zip file set, class zip file set. A zip file set is a file set with extra attributes useful in the context of zip jar tasks. A zip file set extends file sets with ability to extract subset of entries of a zip file for inclusion in another zip file. It also includes prefix attributes which is prepended to each entry in the output zip file. Since Ant 1.6, zip file set can be defined with an ID and referenced in the packaging tasks. This is in the package org.apache.tools.and.types. Here zips all files in the htdocs/manual directory into the docs/user-guide directory in the archive. Adds the file changelog27.txt in the current directory as docs/changelog.txt and include all the HTML files in the examples.zip under docs/examples. The archive might end up containing the files here. Error example, we can consider error on missing dir attribute in type file set. Specify what happen if the base directory does not exist. True, if true, a build error will happen. If false, the file set will be ignored. Empty. This is available since Apache Ant 1.7.1. As an example 2, we can consider this error. File set doesn't support the nested file set element. Now, this is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for watching it.